All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rekakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect. Lord, when this lesson be edifying to you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians who consist of the 12 tribes of Israel, it's your fellow servant our wide for that GMS Orlando camp, and Lord, when this lesson be edifying, okay? Real quick, you got the Pop-It Israelites, okay? You know, pop out and show out Israelites, okay? Making the big notion in the club that they here, okay? That they here to stay in Babylon, all right? Because that's what their spirit is saying. Okay, this is from Zay the Plug. You know, one of the brothers put this in a group chat. The brother Shaquat. Yahweh Shema Shabbat thoughts to that brother. But, you know, we know that this is not the spirit to be in right now, man. You know, brothers may go out and get a drink, casino, get a couple dollars, you know, and return back home. You know, brothers might, you know, do some things and, you know, in a low degree. You feel me? Like in the sense of just getting a drink from the bar. And, you know, and apostles and elders always tell us, you know, even those things, you know, that, you know, it's not sin, but in this time it's not wise, because you got drunk people at the bar, you got stupid, foolish people that start problems, and then you got Esau on this, you know, this May Day trip. Okay, the whole month of May, you got to be careful for, you know, sacrifices, okay, and all type of stuff dealing with the government. But here you have it, you know, the Israelites, you know, being a club popping it too. Okay, and this is not, you know, what we're supposed to, you know, have attached to our name in this time. Okay, we do all this partying in the kingdom. Okay, we will rejoice in the kingdom righteously, man. You know, right now you're amongst sinners. Okay, people in the club that don't understand that, you know, this world is going to an end. You know, and Esau's kingdom is falling, and that they're going to be in great trouble. Okay, that they're going to be in great trouble, you know, coming soon, you know, a few months. All right. A lot of these Israelites that be in the club popping it too, you know, they have not eaten the whole roll. Okay. They have not, you know, talked about these prophecies that's coming to pass, and which one in particular is the MOTB. Okay. And that's one that needs to be yelled amongst the rooftops of Esau's kingdom. All right. And that MOTB is coming, man. It's right down the road. You know, a lot of Jake's going to be caught off guard. But that's what the scriptures say, right? So let's get right. Let's play it, and then we get to the scriptures, all right?
Get some ones, then spend it. Get a bottle, get some ones, then spend it. Left, right.
You can see it says the real Jews are black. And you got to remember, the real Jews, you know, they are so-called, you know, blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. First off, it's two things. You can't leave out the Latinos. You can't leave out the Native American Indians, okay? The scriptures say Ephraim is a cake not turned. So we come from all different, you know, colors, all right? The Lord said, my heritage is unto me as a speckled bird, you know? It's going to be different colors, different, you know, different versions. That fucking dog want to snore now. Luna. Okay. And like I said, you know, the real Jews, and first off, man, we Hebrew Israelites, okay? You know, we're Hebrew Israelites, all right? You know, that attaching that black to us, you know, black to our name is just, you know, that's you know, that's an insult, okay? So you know, Jake can say, oh, we different shades of brown, man. We're not black, okay? So yeah.
Spend it, get some ones, then spend it. Get a bottle, get some ones, then spend it.
Okay, and you can see there in the spirit of mirth. All right, we'll grab this real quick. So, Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 2. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. So the living are sitting back, you know, watching the ones that go to the house to feasting, the 5 foolish virgins. Okay, a lot of them are going to be in that time without no oil. A lot of them going to be in that time, you know, without no no oil to trim their lamps, their light, which is that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High Yahweh Shema Shai. They're not going to have it. Okay, they're not going to be able to see through the dark. Okay, as the scriptures say, we are not children of the dark, we are children of the day, of the light. Okay, but these people are these Jakes are acting as children of the dark. Okay, because they are 2/3 are children of the dark. Okay, verse 3: sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. And you see Jake partying up. You don't see a frown on Jake's face. Oppression shall make a wise man mad. Like I said, you could step out and have a drink or so. Jakes are displaying it before the club that the real, just in the wrong setting, Jake. Okay, Jake is in the wrong setting. All right, Jake has a zeal, of the Lord, but not according to knowledge, as the scriptures say, roughly paraphrasing.
Left, right.
Jake hold that sign up and not really represent what it means to be a Hebrew Israelite. They hold that sign up and still getting tattoos, okay, still getting lineups, still getting beard lineups, still popping another man's wife, okay, still stealing, okay, will quickly shoot a nigga, okay, will quickly shoot a brother, dealing unrighteously with brothers, okay, or sisters, So you can't trust Jake. You can't trust Jake, okay? So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 4. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth, okay? In that house of mirth, when you get this definition here, let me just look it up real quick. Mirth is amusement, especially as expressed in laughter. Okay, mirth, merriment, okay? All right, and it tells you that, oppression shall make a wise man mad. Okay, surely. Okay. Some couple, one second. All right. Matthew chapter 25, verse 1. All right, then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom, okay? And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish, okay? Verse 3, they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them, okay? While time was, while liberty was open them to them, they just did all, they used their, they used their liberty for a cloak of maliciousness, just, doing whatever their flesh wants, okay? Popping it at the club, living it up in mirth. As the scriptures tell you, we in the evil time, man, and took no oil with them. Verse 4, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. Okay, while the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. Verse 6, and at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Okay, because the Lord is not going to give you it says no man knoweth the time, okay, or the hour, Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps, and the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. Okay, you Jakes, spend the time doing, anything but the Lord's will, anything and everything but the Lord's will, you Jakes, you're going to be asked out, okay? Verse 9, but the wise answered, saying, not so, pretty much no, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves, man. Okay, and that's the spirit that the elect are going to be in when it comes to these false prophets and these men that try to, get it together at the end, and the Lord has, casted them off, okay? Okay, because even though they say they're the Jews, okay, they are not all, they are not all of the actual circumcision of Yahweh Shai. Okay, a lot of them, don't even believe in Yahweh Shai. A lot of them changes the names. They say you can call them whatever. Okay, we don't have the name yet, so a lot of them are not of the circumcision of through the Spirit. Okay, a lot of them not of the circumcision, that's going to get that that salvation. All right. On the first round, okay? So let me get here. This is Luke chapter 21, verse 34. Be careful of your hearts. Be careful, or your hearts will be weighed down with kerosene and drunkenness and the anxieties of life. And that day will close on you sudden like a trap. And what day is that? Okay. That's exactly what this, this is the day that it's talking about, okay? This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. As many of the virgins, but of the times and the season, brother, you have no need that I write unto you. Okay, why? Because we should be living according to the light, getting ready, hastening to flee from these times, as the scriptures say. Verse 2, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord Yahweh so cometh as a thief in the night. Okay, a lot of men and women and children will be caught off guard. Verse 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye brethren are not in darkness. Okay, the 5 wise virgins having that light, okay, that lamp, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, will be the stability of the times, okay? That the day should overtake you as a thief, okay? So, Yahushua is not going to catch the ones that's been watching for him to come. Not going to catch them in surprise, okay? Not going to catch them, in a surprise. Of course, the power of him coming is going to cause our faces to freeze, man, because there's going to be so much power, okay? Especially with the angels coming right behind Yahushua, but ultimately it's not going to catch us off in the sense of, we wasn't ready, okay? With Lord willing, we be of that number to be ready. But just speaking as those, 2/3, that they're not going to be ready. Okay, they're going to be caught off guard. They haven't trimmed their lamp, okay? They haven't asked the Lord for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. They haven't prayed for mercy. They haven't repented, as they should. They haven't, come out of the works of darkness, And this is what they chose, man. They chose they chose the mercy, the amusement. Okay, the amusement, the illusion of Babylon. Okay, the party, get drunk, and everything's going to be all right. Look at these niggas. You can't trust niggas. You can't trust these niggas, man. In the club saying, look at this. Left, right. And Jake got a whole lineup. Okay. So yeah, man. Hey, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Until next time, shalom. Call all your Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shine. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, and shalom to the whole full elect. Shalom.